Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm James, CEO of Arca Solutions. Our product is eDirectory. Thanks for joining us. With us today, we have Emerson and Gabriel from our marketing team.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Great. So first, I guess just some quick logistics on the webinar. If anybody has any questions or comments they want to get out there, just put them in the chat. And we'll stop periodically and answer questions as we go. Also, at the end of the webinar, we'll have more time to pick up any questions on this topic or anything else that you'd like to ask. And then the other thing is just to let everybody know that we will post in our blog a copy of this webinar usually within 24 hours. Tomorrow morning sometime it'll be up, I think, on our blog there. So great. So let's get started here. I think we're ready. Okay, great. Fantastic. So this is our team here. Thank you. And right before we get started, for anybody that's new here, just a very quick intro on the eDirectory platform. It is the software platform that we sell. It is a system to make online guides, as well as mobile apps. And so it's used for all sorts of different industries and purposes. It's sort of directory style, creates directory style websites. It does listings. You can import listings, create listings. People can claim listings. You can charge for listings, of course. That's how you generate revenue. It also has deals, events, classifieds, CMS in it. It has native mobile apps as well. You can configure the layout and a lot of the things through a web-based editor with no code, but we also have a source code version available. To learn more, of course, you can go to eDirectory.com or reach out to an account executive and we'll give you a private demo of the system. So great. So today we're going to talk about marketing conversion goals for directories. This is an important sort of piece, I guess, on running, an online website, a directory style site, or any other really, is the metrics. And metrics are critical for managing really any type of business. They provide objective, quantifiable data that you can use to measure your success and make decisions. Of course, tracking performance is very important over time. They allow you to identify trends and areas of improvement, especially identifying different strengths and weaknesses is very important. As you're looking at your different metrics, you can tell, hey, we're weak in this area, and then you can focus on it, or maybe get out of that area if it's not something that's core to your business. And then also it allows you to sort of, identify and understand your strengths, and you can try to grow towards those with your content and your advertising and everything else you're doing. Metrics also allow you to set goals, specific, measurable, and achievable goals for your business, and help align your resources that you're putting into those, whether that's budget or time, etc. For that. And of course, monitoring your progress as you grow, as your business grows towards achieving those goals, and making all those sort of data-driven decisions. So anyway, metrics very, very important in any type of business. And today we're going to talk about conversion goals for online directories. So at this point, I will turn it over to Emerson.
Okay, thank you, James. I guess that the most important marketing metrics, especially when talking about Google Analytics, which is the most known tool for getting these metrics from any website, and specific for online directory, can vary depending on the specific goals for objectives of the project, of course. But there are some key metrics to consider when it comes to website metrics. The first one is sessions. This metric measures the total number of sessions of your website I mean, every time someone reaches out, access your pages and visit your content. It's important to track this metric to see how much traffic your website is receiving along the time. And also users. Users are is a measure that number. It measures the number of unique users who have visited your website. You can also track the percentage of new users and returning users in a given date range. It means how much new users you are acquiring every month, for example, and how many people are returning, visiting your site for the second, third time, etc. It's a good metric to have in mind. The average session duration. This metric measures the average amount of time users spend on your website. It's important to track because it can indicate how engaged users are with your website. I mean, they will visit the homepage, then will do a search, they will visit the results page, they will click on a link, and they will click on another link. So it tracks this engagement from your users.
Emerson, I have one comment on this session duration that's kind of interesting, and it comes from the history of Google. I think I was reading a book on Google some time ago, and it was pretty fascinating because you know, early on, their investors were really concerned that the average session on Google's website was insanely low. People would just come and then they'd be gone, and so the session was low. But the way that they explained it, this wasn't necessarily a bad thing. What that meant was people found exactly what they're looking for, and then left very quickly to go to this other website, and then they'd be back, you know, later to look for something else, but they were able to quickly sort of find what they're looking for. So just a tip there, when you're looking at some of these stats, it isn't necessarily like average session is what you're necessarily going for, depending on what it is. Maybe you can put up the right listings and you know, people quickly go and then they go to that website or whatever. Some of your other content, obviously, you do want to have you know, longer session times in that, but think about your type of site and what you're building before just you know, blindly looking at the data.
Yeah, and the easier you do for users to find the content they are looking for, so the less they will spend on the website. So sometimes, depending on the project, if it's just a regular business listing directory, having shorter average times here means success. Well, we can read this data like this, but it's a good comment. Okay, and one important, another important metric is the bounce rate. It measures the percentage of users who leave your website after visiting only one page. A high bounce rate could indicate that your website is not engaging enough, or that users are not finding what they're looking for. So it's important to track this as well. But for example, a listing detail page, for example, it gets indexed on Google, for example. People are looking for that specific business. They will visit that page, they will click on the website or send a message, etc. Then they can leave from that page. So it's not a bad thing, as you just mentioned before on the average session duration metric. So you have to keep in mind that you have different pages for different objectives. A high bounce rate on the home page is not a good thing, but on a listing detail page where all the information is there, it's not a bad thing. So we have to keep in mind the differences from the pages. Traffic sources, also another important metric that shows where your website traffic is coming from, such as organic search, social media, or paid traffic, for example. It's important to track this metric to understand where your website is performing well and where it might need improvement. So if you're a bit bad from social, you need to create more efforts to share more content on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Trying to get more users from this source. It helps on getting more traffic. Page views is the most basic metric. It measures the total number of pages viewed on your website. It's important because this metric helps to understand which pages are the most popular and engaging for users, and also which pages are converting better depending on your objectives. And I guess the most important metric that will be the next topic here on the webinar is the conversion rate. This metric measures the percentage of users who complete a specific goal on your website, such as signing up for a paid plan, for example. This is critical to track because it shows how effective your website is at achieving its objectives. So you can create different goals depending on your objective. So we're going to talk about this a bit more in depth on the next slides. But by tracking these key metrics, you can gain a better understanding of how your online directory website's performing and identify areas for improvement. So which pages you have less traffic or more traffic, the bounce rate on page X or Y, and start making a plan for improvements. And the conversion goals. Conversion goal is the desired outcome of a marketing campaign, for example, and it's a critical component of the conversion optimization process. We have a webinar about website optimization that meets this idea. And a conversion can be getting new advertisers or simply driving traffic to a category or to a specific listing, for example. It depends on the objective of what we're doing, especially on paid campaigns, for example. And the most common platforms to track our conversion goals are Google and Bing for both analytics and ads to measure organic and paid traffic. And the most conversion goals are the pages visited by the user. For example, the listen page, the listen detail page, or your home page, or a landing page if you're running a specific paid ads or another initiative. For the objective of getting new advertisers, you must track some URLs that I'm going to show you here. These are the success goals, success URLs. When you add you or your advertisers, of course, they add a new item, such as a new listing, a new classified, a new event, a new article, or a new banner on your site. Here I'm using the URL from our demo website, but the slash sponsors slash listen slash listen.php is common for everybody, for every eDirectory user. So you can and you must use this URL structure to create your conversion goals, specifically on Google Analytics. And that's what Gabriel is going to show you right now. He's going to show you how to create your conversion goals in Google Analytics.
Okay, so I will share my screen briefly. There we go. All right, I think you can see these slides, right? Okay, so going to the hands-on part of the webinar. So we are talking about how can we apply all these metrics that Emerson just mentioned to Google Analytics. So Google Analytics, I think everybody must know it, even though you're if you're not familiar with the tool. This is something that is kind of the standard of any online business. So it's a complex website that you use to measure anything out of your online directory or any kind of website.
And
okay,
Gabriel,
so,
let me jump in. Let me just
yep.
jump in right there. If anybody isn't familiar with using at least the basics of Google Analytics, there's a ton of material online that you in free webinars and all sorts of stuff that you can do to free trainings to learn Google Analytics. And it's probably one of the things you ought to start with for that. If you just go to Google and type in Google Analytics, you'll get where you need to be with all that information.
It's right. That is right. Also, Google also offers online very thorough course in Google Analytics, and you can use it for basic stuff, for like checking sessions, users, or really advanced stuff that you can do with this tool. Okay. So we're going to divide this part in two. So we're going to first know how to insert or create a goal in Google Analytics. And the next part, we're going to see the goals reports, how to extract the goal report or how to check that inside Google Analytics as well. So, okay. So the first thing you have to do, you have to sign into your Google Analytics account and navigate to the website that you want to create a goal for. In our case, all the websites are shown here. Okay, in our case, we're using our demo website. So this is the, let's see, the property that we are working on right now. And this is the basic screen of Google Analytics if you've never seen it before. So it's going to show you throughout these cards, all the information collected from your website, okay? So
Gabriel, let me just jump in really quick here just to make sure that this is clear for everybody that may not be super familiar with these conversion marketing analytics, et cetera. So what we're trying to do is just track things that visitors have done on your website. That's the basics of it. So you have somebody come through the website, they might click around on a bunch of pages. And then what you want to do is record how many of those people hit the goal. And the goal, say, is to sign up for a listing, or the goal might be to claim a listing, or the goal might be something else, you know, to view a deal or whatever it is. So you can think of different goals for visitors on your website and then set them up through analytics to track them. And that's basically what we're showing here.
That's it. That's exactly it. So how to make these goals? We're going to click on admin first. We're going to change the screen. Then in the view column, you're going to see goals right here. Click on goals. And exactly what James just mentioned, you're going to see that we have these goals set up to our website. So new article, new banner, new classified event, new listing. So every time a user creates a listing, we're going to get a notification here saying that we have a conversion coming from this specific goal. So that's pretty useful. So you get control of everything that is going on your online directory. Even duration of time or pages or screen per session, this can be tracked too. So let's say a user has a session that lasts over 2 minutes. Yes, so I had 45 in the past few days. 45 users reached this goal right here. Same for listings. We had, for example, 5 listings submitted to our directory, and it's shown right here. So how to create something like this? So it's pretty simple, actually. Just click on new goal, and here is where you're going to name your goal. Let's say a new listing, just for the sake of example. And right here, you're going to choose one of these types. So you have the destination, for example, a URL, just like those that Emerson showed us, a duration of time, pages, screen perception, or an event, for example, played a video or clicked on some button. For this case, that would be the destination. Then you continue, and you just have to type in the URL, one of these URLs, let's say the listing, for example. I will not get the domain right here. I will just get the end of the URL. Then you paste it here, and that's it. You pretty much just click on save. And you're going to create a new event or a new goal, which is going to be the new listing. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you have any doubts, just remember that the same URLs that we use in our website, for example, this one, /sponsor/listing/listing.php, is the same that you are going to use on your online directory. So that doesn't change, which makes even easier. Okay, so this is an example. So we have this bunch of goals set, but how can we track these goals? How do we know if they are working or not? So that's the second part on how to monitor this on Google Analytics. So let me go back to the home screen right here. So what we've done so far is we created the goals. So now we have to check if they are working or not, if we are getting any results or not from these goals that we just created. So the acquisition reports in Google Analytics, they provide insights into how users are finding your website and interacting with it. So here are some key steps to reading these reports. So first thing, let's go to the acquisition tab. So the acquisition tab, it will show all the channels or all the places that users are getting into your website. For example, organic search. They are searching for your online directory on Google or things that your online directory offer on Google. Direct, they are just typing the name of your website. Referral, if they're coming from another website, or social, if they're coming from social media links or campaigns. Right here in this panel, you can see that conversions is right here. And we have the listing goal with a few conversions that we had just for testing. So this is going to show how many conversions you have on any of your goal set. Okay, so for example, we have a new listing, one goal. That means some user register a new listing on our online directory. So that's pretty easy to see. Another way you can check this, you could go on conversions right here, the bottom menu, goals, overview. So again, we have a page that is just dedicated to conversion analysis here. So we can see that we had, for example, 117 goal completions in this period of time. So you can change the period of time up here. Let's say, okay, I want to see it past 7 days. Hit apply, and it will show me the data just for that period of time. For example, okay, so we had this much of new listings and new classifieds. We didn't have any new banners, and we had other like for minutes. So all those goals that we have set up previously, they show up here indicating the value, the goal conversion rate, and etc. So it's super easy to find. And something that you can do as well is you can export all this data through an Excel file or a PDF file, and then you can use this later on. So you can collect on your computer and then analyze this data later. One thing that you can do as well, you can check, for example, let's go back on the all traffic. So right now in the acquisition menu, we can go to channels. Okay, so here also you can see on this side, on the right side, you can see the conversions. So we have all conversions here again. So you can check one by one. For example, okay, the new listings, I want to see just this. So it will show me how many goals we have, goal completions we have under this specific goal. And something you can do as well is you can, for example, okay, but I want to see the cities. Where are these goals coming from? You can add a secondary dimension. Let's just type in city. And what it does, Google Analytics is adding now the city together with the other information, the acquisition information, for example, new users, sessions, or the behavior, average session duration, the bounce rate, and the goals as well. So for example, if you had conversion goals coming from, I don't know, Fresno or Phoenix, it would show up here as well. So you have this granular source of information that you can check and analyze later. Okay, so some tips for analyzing acquisition reports include focusing on the channels that are driving most traffic to your site and understanding how users on different channels behave on your website. So that's what we were talking about. If they're coming from social media, if they're coming from email, for example, or if they're coming straight from Google, you have to know. And then you can set campaigns and analyze how many conversions you had from each of these sources. And you can also use this data to optimize your marketing efforts and improve the user experience overall to your website. So well, I guess that's it for the demonstration. If you have any doubt, please, we're open.
Great. Thanks, Gabriel. That was a good sort of intro in setting up conversion goals, etc. So yeah, we'll open it up for questions at this point. Do you have any more comments right now, or should we take the questions, Emerson? Anything to
Yes,
add?
we can take the questions.
Okay.
We
Great.
showed here just the basic conversions for a new item. So there are a lot of other conversions you might create depending on the goals of your website. But these are the very basic for online directories: new listing, new event, a new classified, etc.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll just pick up the questions here as they came in. Just a couple today, it looks like. Clients always ask me, what is the difference between Google and our directory? This is actually really important. And so people often say, oh, why do I need a listing in your directory? You know, my business is already featured on Google, or my business is already in Facebook. I don't need this. And really what you're selling the client is visibility. And so you know, they want to be in Google and in your directory and in Facebook and everywhere else they possibly can. And the real competitive advantage of your directory over a big site like Google or Facebook or some of these others, a Facebook listing or Yahoo Local or whatever the thing is that what you're doing with your site is you're doing the curation. You're providing people, you're helping people make a purchase decision. And so you're going to have really great listings that show all the info about the business, but also reviews, other information. You're going to curate it and not include all the other junk in there either. And so people that are searching for information can make that purchase decision a lot better. And then the other thing is, you know, after your directory gets picked up with the SEO and all of that, it'll start to get up in the Google rank as well. And so then you can help them get multiple positions in Google as well, which is really important. So it shouldn't be, you should be able to sell through that question without too much difficulty, I think. Next question, any plans to create a workbook with these URLs since ours would be the same to set up the goals and stuff? Yeah, Emerson answered it here in the chat. We're going to set up a KB entry for our knowledge base on support.edirectory.com. We'll have an article there that shows the URLs and that type of thing. Basically, what you can do anytime you want to find what the goal page should be, you can just go through that yourself, go through that flow, and then figure out where you want the goal to be triggered. It's usually on a thank you page or some other action page in there, but we'll create a KB entry and email it to you as well. Great. Question from Charlene. Hi, I've been trying for over a month to get some assistance on setting up my Google AdSense. And I'm being told that the invite email for us, for eDirectory, is currently being used by another customer. It's probably being used by us, actually. I've been asked for the password on emails. We're not comfortable giving out the access. Yeah, certainly you don't need to give our team access to the password. Some people do that if they have a new site and they just want to get it set up quick. But if you've already got your business on there, don't give out that access to you know, whoever, even our support team, we're pretty comfortable with everybody in there, obviously. But what we can do for you is do a screen share and just kind of walk through it. Setting up Google AdSense should be super simple, of just pulling out a key and dropping it in different positions there. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'll talk to the team and review the case and see what's going on, but we should be able to do a screen share with you where you're driving and you do the login on your computer, and then you just share the screen and they'll say, click there on the upper left, click here, grab that key, paste it in your site manager, et cetera, for that. So I'll talk to the team. Sorry about that as well. Oh, if they said no on the screen share, I'm certainly going to look into that, because that's the protocol there, and I don't know what the support team was thinking. So sorry about that. We'll certainly check in and get somebody to get back to ASAP on that. Okay, well, great. It looks like pretty light on the questions today. Does anybody have anything else? Any other questions? And if you do have more questions later, feel free to email us anytime. We posted the emails in, I think, at the beginning of the chat log. Oh, a couple more questions. Great. Hello, I joined a little after the start of this session. So does eDirectory have base level analytics and highlight some of the key data points versus Google Analytics is more enhanced? Yeah, so eDirectory has some very, very basic analytics in the site manager. And it actually sends an email out to listing owners that just says how many visits or whatever their specific listing has. But it's very, very basic, and most of your site analytics you'll do yourself with Google Analytics. It's the industry standard. It's what everybody uses. So if you're wondering about your site traffic, anything else, Google Analytics. The other challenge we've historically had is the filtering of bots. So the internet has a lot of automated traffic from different scrapers and everything else. And so we do what we can on our side to not, the listing analytics to not show those, but Google has a lot more data than we do. And so their thing with the bot traffic and all that is a little bit different. So yeah, eDirectory has basic analytics. Google's much more advanced. So for your site traffic and conversion goals and all that, you probably want to use Google for sure. Any thoughts to try to grow an online community of directory users? Yeah, I think we have a Facebook group out there. It's been pretty niche, so I know there are people that talk about how they run their businesses with that. Oh, it's quiet, and it's kind of interesting actually. This I think some of these directories, often sometimes people are a little bit scared because the cost of entry to this, they don't want somebody else to set up in their market or something like that, and so I think there's a little bit of hesitancy on that. I think on our end we need to do a much better job, I guess, at promoting the community and making sure there's fresh content and all that stuff in there. I'll talk to Anderson and Gabriel and see what we can do on that to just sort of help you and help your business grow and do all of that. It is sort of a niche product as well, and so there just aren't like thousands and thousands of people on there active every day. But we'll take a look at that and see what we can do to promote more content and that sort of thing on the community. So that's a great tip. Thank you. I would like to create a membership card for my user to use in person for the deals. The card would put name and ID from a database. Have you ever considered setting this up? I had an email showing an example. Yes, Charlene, we took your email. I think we've actually done that a couple times as sort of custom projects for people. Often they have some other program that runs the membership card. Sometimes there's a physical card printed, etc. With that. It's certainly something that we've looked at as having a membership card on there in terms of some of those features in there, and it's probably something we'll look at in the future. We certainly got your email with it, and it's with our base code team sort of looking at what we can do with regards to that. Do you have any more Emerson or Gabriel, do you guys have any comments on membership card stuff? A lot of people are using QR code type of things with mobile apps and other stuff as well for those membership cards. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of structure that membership card thing. It's really about deciding how it's going to work and how you're going to sell it and how you're going to get people to get the app or get whatever on their phone and use it, and then how businesses are going to track it. And it's potentially potentially good business, but there's certainly some details to look in on the business side of things. I don't know, do you guys have any more comments on that?
Yeah, for membership cards, it can work on different ways. The mechanic, how it works, how we're going to redeem, what is the price at the end of the rows. So it depends on a lot of factors to develop one thing that can fit the most different types of ideas.
Okay, great. Any updates on add-ons syncing with the mobile app? Yes, we have some news that is going to be coming out in about a week or so on some of these mobile apps. Yes, we're hoping within the next couple of weeks to have at least a good part of those in there. So we're just finishing up testing and etc. on that. And Charlene would like to talk about her app. Yeah, we'll reach out to you, Charlene, and just see what you're looking to do, etc. For that. So as far as the mobile app, hopefully, I know before you were saying there was some problems getting it submitted. I hope all that's been resolved. But we will reach out and see what's going on with your mobile app, etc. Okay, great. Any more questions? Any more questions? Last call. And I guess while we're just waiting for a sec to see if there any more questions come in. Emerson, what's up next in our webinar series? What do we got coming up?
March the 8th, we're going to talk about the directory plugins, the most valuable ones, and of course the ones that are that will be included on the next version of the mobile apps.
In the mobile apps. Okay, great. Well, great. Okay, well, fantastic. So come back and join us in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, Charlene has some issue. I'll check with our support team, Charlene, and see what's going on there with regard to this, and we'll reach out shortly here. Images don't appear in the text formatting. I think that was some HTML in the text content. I remember seeing some stuff, and I think we approved to take care of that from the original text that came in, etc. I'll check on your app there, Charlene, and see what we can do. We'll be in touch here. Okay, well, great. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and have a great afternoon. Thanks a lot.
A lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks guys.